Om Shanti. Welcome to today's episode of Masters of Change. Change is constantly happening, but rarely does anyone look forward to it. What to change, how to change, when to change, these are questions that can put anyone into a panic attack. And a master is someone who has acquired complete knowledge and gained complete control over a subject. And today we are privileged to have one of such masters with us in Brother Dev. Welcome, Brother Dev, to our show.
Thank you.
And you have been a Raj Yogi since last 30 years, and you're currently 47, so it all started when you were 16 or 17. Back then, many people didn't used to meditate. So how did your journey start, and how did your friends respond to your meditation and spiritual practice?
Yeah, I was definitely not looking for anything like meditation or spirituality back then. Yeah. I was minding my own business of studying in my school and college. But there is something called destiny that draws us towards itself. So I was taken actually by my friends to Brahma Kumaris center, not necessarily to meditate, but there was some attraction that was a museum and a musical fountain that was more appealing to us in that age.
Yeah.
And so that's how actually we stepped into the Brahma Kumaris center. But then when we went there and the teacher said what happens there and all of that.
It was in Bangalore.
It was all in Bangalore. But to be honest, none of that really actually attracted me to start meditation. I said, okay, I understand, but I have to study. So I came back home.
Yeah.
And interestingly, all my friends went to take the course the next day.
All right. All your friends, except you.
Except me.
Okay.
And I said, no, I want to study. So I came back and I continued my study. And every now and then, because the center was actually close to my home, sisters, they used to call me, okay, why don't you come and do the course? Come and attend this program. I always told them, I'll come out for my exams.
All right. Yeah.
So, fast forward, exams got over and I felt I should keep my promise.
Yeah.
And I went the day after my exams got done, and I did 7 days course one-on-one with the teacher.
Okay.
Even then, I don't think the spiritual aspects really made me realize, wow, this is amazing. But what really gave me an experience was meditation.
All right.
Sitting and meditating few days in a row invoked something within me. I don't know what it is even until today, but just with the minimal words that we can use to explain, it is a feeling of belonging. Belonging to what? It's actually a feeling of belonging to somebody whom actually I didn't know. Now we say God.
Yeah.
And second thing is to really becoming comfortable in who I am. Today I'm able to describe using these words, but back then I didn't know what it was.
It was just an experience.
Experience, yeah. I felt good.
Yeah.
I felt, this is nice. And even though it was during the holidays, I did this after a couple of months when I was still doing this, I found definitely a much different results in my studies, better results.
Right.
Because that was the effect of the meditation.
Right. So all this was when you were 17 or 18?
It was between 16 and 17.
16 and 17.
Yeah, in my teenage.
Yeah. And that time, there are a lot of attractions for kids because they're just growing up. They want to see the world, travel the world, all things come to your mind. So did that bother you, or did it just you kept going with meditation because of the experience that you felt?
Obviously, the attractions were there.
Yeah.
And they were distractors as well, right? But what I must say is that even though all those attractions were there, what actually kept me going was the feeling of support from those who are already meditating, which I call as a family.
Right.
So when I went to the center and interacted with the people there, the brothers and sisters in the Brahma Kumaris center, their sense of purity in their eyes
Yeah.
and their simplicity, that was actually quite appealing to me. I was born and raised in a very traditional family, good parents, siblings, everybody was there, everything was there. But there was something missing.
Right.
And I think that was this simplicity and sense of that purity. Again, I didn't know these words back then.
Yeah.
I'm saying these words now. But that feeling of family and their spiritual endeavors was something that was always kind of pulling me. I also want to do what they're doing.
Correct.
So because of them, even though all these attractions were there, I was kind of going back to it again and again. So for example, now we have all the social media and the whole world in our hands.
Yeah.
But back then it was TV.
Yeah.
Right? So we used to have every Thursday evening all the new movie songs used to come. Correct. And Sunday evenings used to have one of the movies, right?
Yeah.
And these were my favorites.
Yeah.
I couldn't give up these.
Yeah.
So I kept doing them.
All right.
I kept attending to those, but I also kept doing my meditation practice.
Yeah.
Eventually, I felt that they were not attracting to me anymore.
The movies
and the songs, all those things, because the spiritual power or the experience of meditation
overpowered,
and I felt I didn't have to struggle to give them up.
Yeah.
This shift naturally happened.
So going to the center helped you. So people who take it up individually, it's better to go to the center in a group of people. So the group's energy pull you up whenever you're feeling down. So that helped you more than if you would have went individually. Like if say that you didn't go to the center and you put up the meditation yourself, do you think it would have been that effective?
Definitely not. I definitely, even until today, I feel the atmosphere of the center, any spiritual place for a matter of fact, the atmosphere, the vibrations definitely support your spiritual practice. Even today, after many years, I feel that yes, I can do on my own.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with that. But I find a big difference when I'm in a gathering with a group of people meditating, how the energy actually feeds off of each other.
Yeah.
And that actually helps you to transcend much higher and better.
So I'm guessing you never got married then?
Coming from a traditional family, a Hindu family, obviously marriage is one of the things of life that you have to do at some point in life.
Yeah.
But somehow this path was quite appealing to me. And I felt in my heart, in my family, rest of my siblings are married.
Yeah.
And I felt, I want to do something different.
Okay.
And also, like in general in the world too, everybody does same thing. So, I want to do something different. Initially, it was just supporting myself in meditation. But as I grew in knowledge of the spirituality, it dawned on me actually that, well, what I'm experiencing today, all these wonderful things in meditation, others should also experience this.
Yeah.
I want to be able to help them. And if I want to do that, then there is a sort of a commitment involved in that.
Correct.
And if I want to have that commitment, that means I should not be committed elsewhere.
Yeah.
You see, so that's how I made a choice. Well, I want to have my commitment here.
Okay.
And it kind of makes sense. This is where my heart is calling me to do something different.
Your family supported you in this decision?
Well, in the beginning, definitely not.
Yeah.
There was a resistance,
Must have been a challenge.
It was actually, because putting my feet in their shoes, I can understand, they want my well-being and they want to see traditionally how things happen. Yeah. So I understood that. But also, I couldn't do something what my heart was not wanting me to do. So initially, it was definitely a challenge. I had to kind of postpone, telling them that I won't get married.
Yeah.
I had to keep saying, I'll do it later, like that.
Yeah.
But there was a time where I was the only one left in my family. So I had to say. So I said, look, this is what actually gives me happiness. and I understand your concerns, but trust me, I'll be okay. And, I will not leave you alone.
Yeah.
And I will continue to be your, well-wisher, your child, your son, your support, all those things. Definitely it was not easy for them, but it was my luck that they said, okay, that's fine.
Or they agreed to it.
They agreed to it. I mean, they kind of probably had no choice because it was my deep desire.
Yeah.
But they felt that, okay, let it be. And, now many years later, that they all have kind of agreed to it and accepted it. And to my promise, what I did, that I have continued to be their support.
Yeah.
And that they have never felt that I just kind of let them go or became someone else. And I have been, their son and their brother and all of this.
That's
without kind of cutting off the relationship.
Yeah, that's great. And another thing, you facilitate workshops as well. You help people meditate and have an experience, from what I've heard. So I wanted to ask, if someone has had an experience in the past, and can they recreate that experience? Because sometimes people have that amazing experience and then for a while it disappears. And can people recreate that experience, or is there any way that we can do prior to meditating, which will ensure that we have a beautiful experience in our meditation?
You see, in spirituality, we learn that anything that you do once, an impression of that gets created in our consciousness.
Yeah.
And that impression actually has the ability to help us recreate that experience over and again. So if I have done something, meditation or anything positive, actually even negative, right? Once that experience has been created, it's like an auto mechanism within us that energy pulls us towards itself to recreate that experience.
Okay.
Now let's say if somebody has not done it, but they study about it.
Yeah.
Okay. And through understanding, through studying, one can actually learn about it and come to explore it. But ultimately, that exploration has to turn into an experience.
Correct.
Right? For everyone, there is always a first timer. First time we do something, right? But when you do something first time, there is always that curiosity, excitement. All of those factors actually help you to have that experience.
All right.
Yeah.
That curiosity is nice to have.
Yeah, curiosity, and also that interest in exploring. And also, what helped me also, as I said earlier, is experience of others. I may not have that experience, but when I learn what others experienced, then, oh wow, I also want to experience that.
Correct.
That interest actually also promotes in our experience.
So if someone is meditating, say, for the 1,000th time, back of the mind, they should think that I'm going in for the first time to have that curiosity of a beginner.
Maybe, and maybe not as well. And the reason I say this is that every time it could be a different experience.
Yeah.
Right? What's important is to set the intention.
Okay.
What I want to experience today.
Yeah.
Is it just peace? Because you see, one of the uniqueness in the Brahma Kumaris meditation compared to others is that there are emotions involved in our meditation.
Yeah.
Like some of the other types of meditation that I have seen people explore, you just sit in silence and not think.
Yeah.
Or you chant a mantra.
Yeah.
Or you hold one thought, right? But then there may not be other emotions such as love or bliss, happiness involved. There may be peace.
Yeah.
But here, the thoughts intentions that we start with in meditation have powerful emotions. So for example, it could be the intention that I want to experience myself as a being of love. So as soon as you hear the word love, then we have an emotion associated with it.
Yeah.
So whether it is 100th time or the 1,000th time that that emotion of love can give you a varying experience, because every time you meditate, it has connection to what is happening in your life at that moment, and your experience is actually based on that.
Yeah, so we can have different experiences.
Absolutely.
When we sit.
And it can grow.
Okay.
It can grow because once you experience something, then you say, yeah, I already experienced that, but now I want to go deeper in it.
Correct. And also you shifted to Boston when you were around 25.
Yeah.
So when you shifted to Boston, the culture almost changed completely from what it is in India.
Right.
You must have felt a lot of freedom and a lot of things unexplored. So how did you manage to hold on to your culture and your beliefs and your values while staying in Boston?
Well, that's definitely a good question. Living in India for 25 years and then I went abroad, that was just an opportunity that opened up for me. I had no interest in going as such. I was not working towards it. It just so happened that, through my job, I had to go.
Yeah.
And obviously in the beginning, it was all a cultural shock for me at many levels, because the way life happens there and the lifestyle, everything. But once again, going back to that, there was Brahma Kumaris Center.
There in Boston?
In Boston.
Okay.
And I found out, and then, how I found it was also very interesting. It was in 2000, and internet all was there, but not like today, right? Today you can just Google and find.
Correct.
It was not Google back then.
Correct.
So along with me, so few of us went, and along with me there was one person who was actually from ISKCON.
Okay.
We worked together.
Okay.
And so he said, okay, well, I'm going to go to ISKCON and I'm going to stay there. And then like, oh wait, there must also be Brahma Kumaris Center here. Okay. So I didn't say, okay, I'm going to go to the Brahma Kumaris Center, but I said, okay, let me find out first.
Yeah.
And so I found out, yes, we do have a center. And when I called, there was no one. Okay.
No one answered?
No one answered.
Okay.
There is no one. I felt, okay, well, in India, what you do if no one answers, you just go to the center. So I thought, okay, let me go. Yeah. So I took the train for about 45 minutes and I went to the center. There was no one at the center. Okay. So I felt, oh, it's interesting because, in India, you go to the center, there is always someone.
Yeah.
You come home, always someone is there.
Right.
But there was no one. So I went back home. But I learned that then I got a call back from the center saying that, oh, we were all away.
Yeah.
They had gone to a retreat center called Peace Village. You see, this is all new to me. You know, you expect somebody to be there at home or at the center when you go. It was not like that.
Right.
So then they called me. I went to the center.
Did it feel like home?
Yeah. When I went to the center, first thing I did, I went to the meditation room.
Okay.
What we call here as Baba's room.
Okay.
When I sat there, I almost had tears in my eyes because I had no clue how something like this would be in abroad.
Yeah.
When I went there, it was absolutely the same feeling that I had experienced here.
Wow.
So it was like coming home.
Yeah.
Same picture, same vibration, energy was beautiful. So I felt like, oh wow, this is really amazing.
Right.
You cross, as they say, 7 oceans, going across for so long in a journey, and then you visit this place, you feel that it's the same place that you were raised in, you're used to, and that it was really an emotional experience at that time. Yeah. To be there in the center. So, of course, people were very welcoming. They were also happy that somebody from India was there.
And no one else from India was there?
The specialty of this center was that all the teachers and the students, they were all from abroad.
Okay.
They're all from the US or from other countries there. There were Indians, but they only came over the weekends.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
So, and I was the only, there were others who came again over the weekend.
Yeah.
But those who went on the weekdays, odd times, was me.
Wasn't it difficult for you to travel 45 minutes from the train?
It was, but you see, it was all new, right?
Yeah.
And you were excited to explore something new.
Yeah.
So it didn't matter how long it took.
You used to go every day?
I couldn't go every day because of the work and everything.
Yeah.
So what I did for the first few months, I went few days a week.
Yeah.
But then I decided, okay, I'm going to stay close to the center. So
how you shifted?
I rented the apartment just about 10 minutes away.
Nice.
And I started living there, and I was able to go every morning, every evening to the center.
Wow, that's amazing.
And I also must say that even though we have centers here so close by and everything is available, but there is something, right? When you work hard and get something, you feel there is more reward in it. Yeah.
Right.
So me doing all of that and getting a place close to the center and then going to the center, it was quite rewarding actually. My actual spiritual growth started there. Okay. Even though I was meditating, I was doing everything here, it was almost like I was sustaining myself here. Just kind of meeting the ends of the day, so to speak, in spirituality.
Yeah.
But there I began to grow. Why? I had that solitude, living alone, myself, doing everything, time for exploration, and kind of far away from everything else. So to answer your question, actually, for some it could be loneliness because you go far away and no family, friends, right? But actually it worked out differently for me. That solitude helped me to foster my spiritual, relationship with the higher source, and come close in that sense and explore my own self as well.
Right.
So yes, there were distractions, there were, things like that. But my heart was more in tune in this direction, and there was support of the spiritual family as well.
Another thing that you facilitate workshops in anger management and also positive thinking. There's something that you do is changing anger to peace. How does it work? I mean, how much time does it take if someone is, suppose, angry today on something? How can we turn that emotion to peace and without manipulating that emotion, without...
You see, all these workshops are actually what we do, what we practice is actually what we share.
Yeah.
Right? So this is something that what we go through in our journey, spiritual life is, okay, this is something I'm experiencing, so let me share this.
Yeah.
So coming to your question about anger to peace, first thing is to even acknowledge, yes, I have anger.
Correct.
That's first thing but even to acknowledge that, we need to have the wisdom that it is not something that is natural to us. Many people say, well, anger is natural to you, and so be it. No, don't fight with it. But spirituality teaches us that actually, no, peace is natural to you, not anger. Anger is something that you have acquired. So the acceptance here is that, okay, I have acquired something that is not right. That's acceptance. Right? So once I know that, then the next question comes, okay, how do I get rid of it? Important thing here is to understand that, why am I even getting this?
Right.
Okay. Very deeply, this has to do with my attachments to things in life, the emotion or the negative energy of ego that is involved.
Yeah.
Because if there is no attachment or ego, there won't be anger either. So when I'm getting angry, it has to do with something. It could be, I have believed myself to be something.
Yeah.
And if someone doesn't believe in the same way, I get angry with that person.
When things don't go my way.
I'm attached to my car and something happens to it, someone does something to it, then I have anger because this was source of my happiness or, my comfort zone, my thing. So once we realize this, actually, these other negative energies actually are making me angry, then you start to realize things that actually, then what's the source of my, feeling comfortable? What's the source of my being happiness? So when we teach, we say that, your inner peace is actual nature for you. Your inner happiness, your true love, these are the natural qualities that you have. So instead of trying to get rid of anger, let's grow these things, meaning let's experience these things.
Right.
So it's always important to note that instead of trying to get rid of something, it's important to grow something else. Like
Right.
instead of trying to get rid of negative,
Yeah.
let's grow positive. Negativity will eventually fade away.
So it's not a process that will happen overnight. It's a complete process. It will take time, right?
Definitely. But also we should not say that it's a process.
Okay.
Because then we're also saying, okay, at some point it will happen.
Yeah.
It's just wisdom to understand it takes time. But when it comes to doing it, no, I want to do it today.
Right.
And I want to be careful today.
Correct.
So we say that, okay, one is prevention is better than cure.
Yeah.
That means, okay, work on yourself so that you don't, get angry, you don't exercise that emotion. So to work on that, increasing your self-respect, increasing the quality of peace. But then when really things happen, then you have to take the medicine.
Yeah.
And that is at that time what you do.
Yeah.
So at that time, okay, perhaps you be quiet, don't say anything, or, say, okay, I'm going to get back to you later on it. So you do exercise that later on,
Yeah.
so that you take care of yourself at that moment.
Correct. Very important thing that you said, that acknowledging anger is very important. Many people don't even realize that it's something wrong that they're doing.
Because that's our upbringing.
Yeah.
You see, we have been taught. You see, in school we are taught some things, but as a cultural things, we are taught many other things. So we are taught, okay, it is okay to be angry. It's
Yeah.
part of our, what do you do if things don't go well? So obviously you get angry. So we are taught like that.
Yeah.
But spirituality teaches us that, no, that is something that you take sorrow from it. And that's not good.
Yeah.
People believe that sorrow is part of life.
Yeah.
But spirituality teaches us actually, you can be happy without having sorrow.
Yeah.
You see, that's why it is so important for us to learn the spiritual wisdom so that we can really lead a meaningful life.
And is it possible to be happy all the time, like 24/7?
Definitely, it is possible. It's a conscious effort.
Okay.
I say that it's a journey to achieve that. And why I say this? Because it's an aim to, yes, I want to be. But then what is also important along with it is our regular practice.
Yeah.
It's not just enough to say, I want to be happy. Yes, I want to be happy. But then, so how am I supporting that?
Right.
Everyday regular meditation or something positive, spiritual wisdom every day. And, then checking every day, how did I do today?
Yeah.
What can I change tomorrow? What can I do differently tomorrow? If I have these as part of my daily routine, definitely you can be happy. One of the things I get as a comment at work, we have never seen you peaceless. We have never seen you unhappy. What's the secret? So you see,
At the area of workplace.
at my workplace,
you
they
receive
always, yes, I may not be always happy,
Yeah.
but at least in that span of 8 hours, others have not experienced something
Yeah.
different from me.
Right.
So that means it's possible.
Correct.
My practices, my spiritual efforts are actually giving that result of others even acknowledging that they only see me peaceful or happy.
Were others at your workplace motivated by seeing you and then they did the course? Has something like that ever happened?
Yes, definitely. There are many who have done that. Because they say, okay, what do you do? They ask, okay, what do you do? How come you're, so...
What's the secret?
Because what happens, you see, when we're in a meeting at work and discussions, right? Always there is a feeling, I want to say, my idea has to be accepted, or, the feeling of competition or jealousy, all these things. But when you don't give yourself into those things, obviously others observe you, how come this person is not affected?
Yeah.
So the truth wouldn't remain hidden.
Correct.
So they always ask, like, how come you are not reactive? So then you say, not just I meditate, I see the perspective on the topic.
Yeah.
On a practical level, like, well, that was their perspective, this is how we have to do things. When they hear those things, then they want to know, so how do you achieve that?
Yeah.
Then we say, yes, if you meditate, if you have positive attitude, then you can do these things.
Yeah.
Then yes, people want to explore that. And yes, people have done that.
Correct. So they see the need and then they ask that
You
whatever
see,
the practice.
yeah, people, I feel these days need examples.
Yeah.
Just like, today what do we do? Anything you want to find out, you Google.
Yeah.
Because somebody already has done it.
Yeah.
So that it's easy for us. In the same way, people also want to see practically in our lives how these people have done it.
Yeah, correct.
So when they see us doing it, it inspires others. And then they can explore that. Correct. And they want to explore that.
Yeah. Well, it was lovely to have this conversation with you today, and I'm sure that I've taken a lot of points from it, which I'll use in my daily practice. And thank you for coming and sharing your experiences with us, Brother Dev, and Om Shanti.
Thank you so much for the opportunity, and Om Shanti.